All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that pushes truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Also, I just want to do a short lesson of however long the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video, it was peace and safety for them too. Now look at them. All right. And the Lord will, as brothers can see on the screen, I have this article here from the Zero Hedge, and it says nearly 10 million Ukrainians now displaced by war, says UN. You know, I don't know if that's fact or fiction or not, if it's true or not, but let's just say for argument's sake, um, there really are 10 million people in Ukraine that have basically been forced out of their homes. All right. And, you know, life has just changed for them, have just turned upside down for them completely. All right. 5 or 6 months ago, all right, it was peace and safety for them. They was chilling, they was going out, going to restaurants, chilling, married, giving into marriage. All right. And the next thing you know, destruction came upon them. Like the scriptures say in First Thessalonians. All right. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them. All right. Because again, at one point, 5 or 6 months ago, all right, it was all good in Ukraine. Again, they was married, giving into marriage, like it says in St. Luke the 17th chapter, the parable that the Lord Yahweh Shai spoke about as in the days of Noah. All right, everything was all good. The next thing you know, the flood came. All right, the destruction came, and the same thing is going to happen to Babylon the Great. All right, because them people in Ukraine, this just again say there are 10 million people that have been basically forced out of their homes. All right, again, I know I keep saying that, but 5 or 6 months ago, it was all good. It was peace and safety. Now look at them. They've been forced out of their homes. They got to go to a strange country or whatever. Go leave their homes. Go to well, maybe not a strange country, but go to relocate. You know, find basically start life all over again. You know, their apartment or their house might have got hit with a missile, so now they basically got to start all over again. All right, so their life just changed just like that. But again, 5 or 6 months ago, it was all good, and the same thing is going to happen to America. It happened in Babylon the Great. This happening to them people in Ukraine. All right, people in America think everything is all good and nothing like that can happen here. All right, no, there's no famine or no troops in the streets or nothing like that could ever happen here. All right, but it's going to happen, man. Again, the scriptures say, peace, speak about peace and safety. Then before you know it, sudden destruction is going to come upon them. All right, just like it did in Ukraine. All right, these 10 million people in Ukraine. All right, it was all good at one point. Next thing you know, they're being forced out of their homes. Troops knocking at the door, missiles flying over their head. All right, life just changed for them. It's the same thing here, and it's going to happen in Babylon the Great. There's going to be no food on the shelves. There's going to be troops marching up and down the streets. If you ain't got the money system's gonna crash. If you ain't got the MOTB, you ain't gonna be able to buy and sell. You know, on top of it being a shortage, all right, a shortage of food, all right, so on and so forth, man. Just mass. The Lord's gonna bring the word of judgment on Babylon the Great, all right. But the people in Babylon the Great don't believe that. They don't believe nothing like that can happen. Nothing bad like that can happen here to the people. Nothing like that can happen in Babylon, in America. But it's gonna happen, man. Again, just like the people in Ukraine. All right, they didn't think that was going to happen to them. Look what happened. Now look at them. All right. So we get that in Thessalonians. You know, I don't care about the people in Ukraine, and neither should you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians. You shouldn't care about them either, because when you read Psalms, the book of Psalms was that 83rd chapter. It gives a list of our enemies, and number one on the list is Esau. All right, and those people in Ukraine are Edomites. So you're not supposed to you're not supposed to care about those people, man. I don't care about those people, and you shouldn't care about them either. They're Edomites. They're our enemy, man. If they're getting judged, all right, they get judged. They've been put out of their homes. They get put to death. Good for them, man. Because, again, they're our enemy, man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and the other nations are our enemy, man. All right, you're not supposed to feel sorry for them. All right? You're not supposed to feel sorry for them at all. When we got put in hardcore slavery, all right, and we was over here suffering, and we're still suffering to this day. Let's just say today we're getting mistreated. Why aren't they doing it? They haven't done anything for us. All right, we've been catching hell ever since we've been over here in this land in America. All right, the Russians or whoever, the mother nations, they ain't done nothing for us to help us. All right. So then, but then when they get jacked up, everybody gotta feel sorry for them. Everybody gotta send money to them. Man, the hell with the Edomites, man. May more destruction come to the nation of Edom. All right. The Edomites here in America and the other Edomite nations around the globe. All right. Not supposed to feel sorry for them, man. All right. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. I just read verse 3, Salakia. Let me read verse 2. I just started one, Salakia. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Right? And when the Lord hits America, all right, it's going to catch, the people that ain't got this truth, but it could catch them completely off guard, man. All right, they're going to be caught with their pants down. Why? Because they ain't been walking circumspect, they ain't been paying attention, and they, most importantly, they ain't been listening to the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, which are the elders and the apostles of great millstone. All right, which by listening to the words of the prophets, that's the main way you be circumspect. That's the main way. That's, how can I say it? That shows that you're definitely walking circumspect when you're listening to the prophets of the Lord. All right, and paying attention to current events, which through the spirit, it's all get linked through the prophecy. It's all the same thing, pretty much. All right, because the current events that's going on, pretty much are the prophecies. All right, but they are the prophecies. Really, they are the prophecies. The current events that go on in the world are linked to prophecy. They are the prophecies, like it. All right, but yeah, that's how you walk circumspect. Starting by the most important thing, listening to the men of the Lord. All right, which is the most important, which is the main way you walk, which is the way you walk circumspect. All right, listening to the prophets of the Lord. All right, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, all right, like the people in Ukraine 5 or 6 months ago, it was all good. 10 million people in Ukraine, it was all good. Everything was gravy. All right, now look at them. All right, and they get in the hell with the Ukrainians. I don't care about the Ukrainians, and you shouldn't care about them either. They're Edomites. They're listed as our enemy. They always been our enemy. They always will be our enemy. All right, until we eradicate them. Till Yahweh Bashim Yahushai eradicates them. All right, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, rather it's an American Edomite, a Russian Edomite, a Ukrainian Edomite, an Australian Edomite, a European Edomite, a Jewish Edomite. All right, they're all our enemies, man. All right, every last one of them are our enemies. All right. You shouldn't give two shits about them. Alright? Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, like they thought in Ukraine 5 or 6 months ago was peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Right? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Why are they so jacked up? Alright? What happens to them? Everybody, the whole world knows about it now. Alright? It was all good, and next thing you know, pretty much war got declared on their country. And next thing you know, missiles are being shot into their country. Troops are marching up and down the street, tearing shit up. All right, gunfights happening right in the middle of the streets. All right, the whole world got flipped upside down, and they didn't think that was gonna happen to them. All right, but it happened to them. The people in America don't think it's gonna happen to them. Heartache and pain and sorrow and death and destruction is gonna happen to them, but it's gonna happen to them. All right, and it's gonna be worse when it hits here. All right, again, it says 10 million Ukrainians now displaced by war, saying Ukraine says the UN Slovakia. Russia's devastating and deadly assault over the past 3 weeks have forced 10 million people in Ukraine to flee their homes, according to figures released Friday by the United Nations organization. Which again, you gotta take that with a grain of salt, because I don't, But let's just say again, there are 10 million people. I know people have been driven from their homes over there, and again, they thought it was all good. They had their house, they had their family, it was all good, peace and safety. Now look, all right, now they were basically, had to flee their home. The home probably got destroyed. All right, but it was all good 5 or 6 months ago. But then look how quick life changed, and the same thing is going to happen here in Babylon the Great. Life is going to change dramatically, man. Let me get one more scripture, and I'm gonna wrap it up. This is the Lord wood is listening is edifying, because I kind of just I've been meditating on it, but I saw that article and I just want to do something real quick. But this is because I've been meditating on because a lot of our people out there are praying and hoping things get better. Again, you shouldn't give two shits about those people in Ukraine. All right, they didn't give two shits about you 5 or 6 months ago. All right, or ever. All right, so why would you care about them? Again, they're our enemy, man. All right, this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 6, verse 7. Salakia. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, which is talking about America. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said that the heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Right, and the people in America and Babylon got an attitude, man. All right, nothing like that in Ukraine could never happen here. Nothing like that in Iraq could never happen here. Nothing like that in Syria could never happen here. All right, or any of the other war-torn countries. All right, nothing like that, or where silver unrest broke out. All right, or whatever. All right, or the country economy failed them, or whatever. A country like Venezuela whose economy failed them, or Zimbabwe, a country like that whose economy failed them. They don't think there's nothing like that. Um, nothing, a situation like they're living, like the situation they're in, could ever happen to America. But it is. All right, it is going to happen here, and it's going to be worse. All right, worse than any of those other countries. Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. All right, the Lord said her plagues should come in one day. Plagues are bad things, man. Death and mourning and famine. Right, death and mourning and famine. But what people in Ukraine are suffering, death. People are getting put to death over there. People are in a sorrowful state, mournful state. But 5 or 6 months ago, it was all good. And famine, a lack of food. And you can clearly see, if you're not living, you got your head on a rock, you can clearly see that a famine is coming upon the land of Babylon, man. All right? And she should be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judges her, right? What should be burned with fire? America, the whole land of America. All right? All right, so again, for these people in Ukraine, everything was all good 5 or 6 months ago. Now look at them. All right, it's just an example, man. 5 or 6 months ago, everything could be all good, and next thing you know, well, Babylon should learn. People in Babylon should really learn the lesson the first time when the Crown Royal 19 happened. All right, everything was good and all gravy and good. Next thing you know, it's lockdowns. Next thing you know, your job shut down. You gotta work from home. Next thing you know, uh, um, you know, checkpoints, curfews. All right, that just shows how quick things can change. Just like that. 2019, everything was all good. In 2020 came, everything in Babylon got, life in Babylon got flipped upside down. All right? But the people in America didn't learn from that. So the Lord's going to bring a harsher, worse judgment. All right? Like the people in Ukraine are catching. All right? The hell they're catching something to that extent. All right? Military troops in the streets, beating people's ass, putting people to death. That's what the Lord's going to bring to America. Times 10. All right? Famine, shortages of food. People are going to starve to death. All right? Checkpoints. All right? And so on and so forth, man. But again, man, the people, just like the people in Ukraine, they didn't think it was going to happen to them, but look at them now. All right? So here in America, it's going to happen too, but it's going to be times 10. But people don't think they can be touched here. People in America don't think America could be touched like that. But the Lord's going to bring judgment on it, man. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, the learners, to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you, brothers, pushing this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. And Lord will, it was edifying. The lesson was edifying. Shalom.